we're trying to work with some Latino leaders in the Rochester, Olmsted County area in defining and going through just exactly what we've been talking about. What is the process in the detention center? What is what we're going to talk about next? What's the process for patrol deputies, for folks on the street that come across someone who may be here in this country and they're undocumented? How do they deal with it? So we're working through this with these Latino leaders from our community with the hope that we can then build rapport enough through them to be able to have these conversations with those folks in our community who may be here illegally, but yet they're being victimized. And that's one of the things that, to me and to Chief Peterson and others in law enforcement in our local area, and across the state and maybe even, in fact, across the country, if a person is here and they have, and this is where I'm jumping right into the patrol aspect of it, if there's let's say it's a domestic, because it seems to be the hottest fire topic in these situations. Let's say it's a domestic, and the individual that is the suspect in the domestic has physically abused or injured someone, or is threatening someone with great bodily harm, or whatever. It doesn't matter. There's threats made, or there's been some level of injury, and it's a domestic assault situation. The suspect is going to get arrested like anybody else. The suspect is going to be brought to jail. The suspect is then going to be asked those questions when they get booked into the jail, one of those questions being, what's your origin of birth? So if that person is undocumented, the process is going to go that way, and it's going to take care of that because our interest is about public safety. Why should we have someone who is in our community who is violating our laws and violating laws in a sense where they're hurting and harming other individuals? Why do we want them in our community? If they need to be deported, if that's the case, then ICE is going to do their job. Now, where it gets difficult is these individuals have routinely made threats upon their victims, and we know this to be true, that they will threaten their victims and then say, you can't call police because you call police, I'm the guy who's making the money around here. I'm working at these 2 jobs or whatever it is that I'm doing. You're home taking care of kids or whatever the case may be. If you get me arrested, how are you going to live? How are you going to survive? And they put that threat back on them in that sense. So there's a fear of them calling law enforcement from that aspect of it, that if we arrest this individual's going to be gone. And it's a horrible thing that they put on these people, but that's the facts.
It's an extra layer of abuse.
You bet it is. It certainly is.
Hey, if I'm going down, so are you.
Exactly.
Oh.
And then I'm going to make them know that you're
Right.
an undocumented too. Now, that's not for us to deal with at the local level. Again, that's still at the immigration level and the federal level. If he, in this case, let's say it's a he, and most times it is, that suspect, and he makes those comments to ICE and says, well, my victim, she's the one that making these allegations. She's undocumented too. Well, that's ICE to make that determination of what they're going to do with them. What we do and what local law enforcement does is we don't have that conversation. When we have a victim, and yeah, there may be a belief that they're undocumented, our patrol folks on both the sheriff's office and the police department, and Roger, Chief Peterson and I have talked about this many, many times over. We don't ask those questions. We're there to take care of that individual. If they've got injuries, we're going to take care of those injuries. If they're being threatened, we're going to take care of those threats. We're going to do everything we can through the county and through the court system here, all the way through the process to help them feel that they are being treated fairly. And not once are we asking the question if they're undocumented or not, whether it's them or their children or whoever. We do not get into that. We're not going to. And if our staff does do it, they're going to be having to deal with the policy issue.